You know, we all face storms in our lives, those unexpected challenges that really test our resolve, whether it's at work or at home. So the real question isn't if they're going to come, but how we choose to get through them. Today, we're going to dig into some wisdom about facing those challenges, finding the beauty in the struggle, and really grabbing onto the power of a fresh start.
I'm sure you've heard this one before, right? It's such a powerful image, a huge herd of buffalo, and instead of running away from the storm, they charge straight into it. The idea is so simple and inspiring. If you just confront hardship head-on, you'll spend less time suffering through it.
And look, it's a fantastic story, a great metaphor. But with any piece of wisdom like this, you kind of have to ask, is it actually true? And maybe more importantly, what's the real lesson we're supposed to take away from it? Let's take a closer look.
All right, so let's dive into our first section, facing the storm. This is all about that first step, that often really tough moment of confronting a challenge.
So here's the funny thing. Zoologists have looked into this, and, well, there's no real evidence that buffalo actually do this, but you know what? That doesn't make the lesson any less valuable. The power of this idea was never really about animal biology. It's a metaphor for us, for human resilience. It teaches us that we have a choice. We can let the storm just roll over us, or we can face it, take some control, and push our way through to the other side.
Now, if we're going to face a storm head-on, we have to believe there's some kind of a point to it all. And that brings us right to our second section, the beauty of the struggle. It's this idea of finding some meaning, some purpose right in the middle of the pain.
This piece of ancient wisdom gives us a really profound way to look at this. It suggests that pain, whether it's physical or spiritual or emotional, it isn't just something you have to put up with. It's a signal. It's like a diagnostic light on your dashboard, telling you something's not right and it needs your attention. A doctor has to get close to an illness to treat it, right? Well, in the same way, we have to get close to our own struggles to really understand and heal them. And Sigmund Freud said something pretty similar from a psychological angle. The times we're under the most pressure are often the exact same times we grow the most. Think about it from a business perspective. You never learn more than when a big project is just going completely off the rails. It's in that moment of recovery, of problem solving, that you forge real character and competence. It almost never feels beautiful when you're in it, but I promise you, when you look back, those are the times that truly define who you are.
So this brings us to section 3, the gift of a fresh start. We've talked about the why of struggle. So now let's talk about the when of making a change. Because a lot of the time, all we really need is a clear starting line.
There's actually a name for this. Psychologists call it the fresh start effect. Think about it. A Monday, your birthday, the first of the year. These moments in time feel like a clean slate. It's like they give us permission to draw a line in the sand between our old self, with all its not-so-great habits, and the future self we really want to be. It's a neat little psychological trick that lets us reset our own story and build up some new momentum.
And what's really interesting is how this modern psychological idea has this powerful parallel in the spiritual season of Epiphany. It comes right after the New Year, and Epiphany literally means manifestation. It's all about light being revealed in the darkness. It's a season that's totally focused on renewal, on making your intentions real. So whether you look at it through psychology or tradition, the message is exactly the same. Certain times of the year are just a massive catalyst for change.
Okay, so how do we make that change actually stick? That's what Section 4 is all about, rituals and re-engineering, because you need both the right mindset and the right tools to turn a good intention into real action. I like to think of this as the hardware and the software of personal change. On one hand, you've got your external rituals. These are tangible, physical things you do. A great example is that Epiphany tradition of chalking the door, where you literally mark your home with a blessing for the new year. It's an outward sign of an inward commitment. Then, on the other hand, you have your internal systems. That's about re-engineering the code of your habits. This means really understanding that automatic loop of cue, routine, and reward that drives so much of what we do without even thinking. Rewiring a habit is a really methodical process. First, you got to identify the trigger. Is it stress, boredom, maybe a certain time of day? Second, find a replacement routine that still gives you a similar reward. So let's say you scroll on your phone to de-stress, maybe try listening to a song instead. Third, reshape your environment. Make the good habit super easy and the bad habit kind of a pain. And finally, and this one is absolutely crucial, practice self-compassion. This is not about being perfect, it's about making progress. Setbacks are going to happen. The key is just to get back on track without beating yourself up about it.
Making all these changes, facing these storms, man, it takes energy. It takes resilience. And that brings us to our final section. And honestly, one of the most powerful, overlooked tools we have. Laughter is our anchor.
I mean, just look at the actual science here. Laughter isn't just some nice distraction. It's a powerful physiological event. It actively lowers cortisol, that's your stress hormone, while it's boosting beta endorphins, which are your body's natural feel-good chemicals. It literally increases your pain tolerance, it's good for your heart, and it can even boost your immune system. From a purely biological point of view, laughter is some of the best medicine we've got.
And you know, sometimes the medicine is just a simple, even kind of silly joke. A little moment of humor can just instantly break the tension, shift your perspective, and remind you not to take everything, especially yourself, so seriously.
At the end of the day, that's what laughter is. It's our emotional shock absorber. As we're driving down the bumpy roads of life, it just helps smooth out the ride. And when that really big storm hits, it's the anchor that can keep us from getting swept away.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a few questions to chew on. First one, what's the storm in your life that you've maybe been running from? What's that one challenge that, if you just faced it head-on, you could get through faster and come out stronger on the other side?
Second, think about the tools we just talked about. Is there one small external ritual you could start just to signal your new intention? Or maybe there's one internal habit loop you can start to re-engineer, just one step at a time.
And finally, where can you intentionally bring more laughter into your life? Because whatever your journey through the storm looks like, I guarantee you, it will be so much more manageable with a sense of humor to help light the way. Thanks for tuning in.